Dante, it seemed like you were kind of growing a little bit more comfortable last year before that injury. Just kind of how did you approach that, and just how much more comfortable do you feel this spring?
The start, I say I'm feeling like very comfortable now that I have a year under my belt with the offense. I feel like everything is a lot easier for me. Now I can play faster and not have to think too much when I'm playing. So I feel like having me get a little bit better at the end of the season, and then with me going down, that's nothing that I can control. I just use that as a way to get deeper in the playbook and then just build my faith and know what I need to work on when I come back. So I feel like the injury was like, yeah, it was a bad thing, but at the same time, it was something good for me.
If I remember right, you moved to the outside before the injury, and that seemed to be where you popped, played well before the injury. Are you more comfortable on the outside, and if so, why?
I'd say that's a little bit more comfortable for me because I played in that position my whole life. Like, of course, throughout my career, like in high school and things like that, I played all around, but being outside is where I played predominantly for my whole life.
Coach Pope said that you really established yourself as a leader. A lot of guys look up to you. Was that an emphasis here now in year two?
Oh, yeah, I definitely would say that because, like, with me, when I was a young guy in college, I know how hard it was for me with my transition. So I tried to lean on a bunch of older guys to get help. So I just try to give back to all the younger guys. Like, if I see a guy might mess up on a rep, I'm going to be the first person to run to him before coach could even get to him. I try my best just to help those young guys out and then make it a little bit easier for them.
Dante, going back to last year, obviously you kind of dealt with injuries on and off throughout the year. When you were finally starting to play well, you get hurt catching a touchdown. Was that hard for you mentally? Was that something that was another challenge you had to deal with? And how did you kind of go through about the process mentally to make sure you kept yourself up so you could come back better this spring?
So like you said, like with me dealing with multiple injuries throughout the season, like with the injuries that I dealt with in the beginning of the season, those were like a lot harder for me mentally. But after dealing with those things and getting through it, I just use that last injury as a stepping stone, like not to let it discourage me a lot, but use it as now I have this time to really lock in and focus on the things that I can do off the field to help me when I get back on the field. So it was better for me.
Dante, just what kind of growth have you seen from Nico from the bowl game until halfway through spring practice? Where have you seen him make the most progress?
I'd say the biggest point of growth from Nico would be just him being more of a vocal leader. Like when last year he wasn't as vocal because of course you got Joe there, so he don't really have to step into that leadership role. But now with him being here and he's quick to we go out there at the rack, he's one of the first people to run up to you, let you know like, okay, if you might have been open on the play, he'll tell you like I saw you on that play. When we come back to it, I'm gonna get to you. So I say the biggest thing that I've seen from him was just being more of a vocal leader.
You mentioned mentoring some of those younger guys. What stood out about them halfway through spring practice now?
I say the biggest thing that stood out about a lot of the young guys is that they're hungry, like they want to really go out there and get it. Like, yeah, they might mess up on the play, but they come right back the next play and going to make a play. And I feel like with us being receivers, we're the guys that once we get things going, it gets the whole team, or especially like the offense going. So I say just them being hungry and going out there and fight every day.
Mike Matthews in particular, it sounds like he made a big play in the scrimmage. What stands out about his skill set and what he's done so far?
I just say, like, Mike, I feel like he's very special. Like, he has the ability, like, of course, with him coming out of high school, he's a highly started talent from high school. But he came into college, and he's doing the same exact thing they were doing. He came out of high school, my bad. He did the same exact things that he's been doing. So I just say that he's a guy that can play outside or in the slot, and he's very explosive. So once he gets the speed of the game and then, of course, learning the playbook, he's going to be unstoppable.
Okay, what's the competition like amongst you guys as receivers? You guys are all vying for a limited number of playing time for the fall. Is it pretty intense, or are you guys trying to help each other and help each other get better at this point?
I definitely say it's intense, but at the same time, we're still trying to help each other because it's a brotherhood. But, of course, if one person make a play in the receiver room, everybody else is trying to fight to make another play so they got up top that one, which at the end of the day, it makes us all better at the end of the day. So I definitely say it's competitive, but we still all stick together.
You talked about Mike a little bit. Chris coming in from Tulane, kind of doing the same thing you did last year as a transfer, learning this offense. How have you sort of helped him try to adjust to playing and going through the same thing you did last year?
First, I want to say with Chris is a playmaker. Like, regardless of him having to come in and learn the offense, if a ball comes to him, he's going to catch it no matter how he needs to. So I just say how I've been trying to help him is just like with the small details and like what we need to do with specific routes or different plays. I just try to help him with those things. But he already has the talent and everything, the ability to do what he needs to do. He just needs like from the book part of it. Like, so just helping him with the plays and stuff like that is like the main that I've been trying to work on with him.
You mentioned just being more comfortable. Is there any specific way in which you feel you've grown a lot since you got here? You know, whether it's mindset-wise or skill set or anything?
I say both mindset and skill set. And then physically, I say, because like when I got here, I was a little bit on the lighter side of things, and now I say with a full offseason under my belt, I was able to put on a lot of weight and still try my best to keep my body healthy. So with me being physically and feeling healthy, I feel like that's a big thing for me, like to help me keep going. And then I just say, just being mentally comfortable with not having the pressure of worrying about if I'm doing the right play or if I might mess up, just going out there and playing ball.